Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Liquid Loans Behind the Scenes. Over the last few episodes, we've just been really getting to understand the Liquid Loans protocol and just delving into the mechanics of how it works. I know the white paper is a bit of a read, so it's good to actually have someone sit there and explain some of these mechanics in a pretty easy to digest and a graphical way. So we're going to keep continuing with that in this session. We're going to have a look at the stability pool this time. So if you haven't watched the previous 4 or 5 videos, I'd go back and watch them first, because there's a bit of important information in there. But really what we're looking at here is our little buddy over here, the stability pool, and what it actually does. Okay, so the stability pool plays a very important role in the system. So we've said, when you set up a vault, you deposit some collateral, and you take out a loan. And we've had a chat about the minimum levels and some safe levels on the collateral ratios you should deposit for that, so I won't cover that in this session. But you basically mint some USDL. Okay. Now, the reason why we have the stability pool is it does exactly as the name sounds. It stabilizes the system. And how does it do that? Well, holders of USDL can actually deposit funds into the stability pool. So basically this is made up of 2 components. There's a big chunk of USDL sitting here, and so then that begs the question, well, why would you deposit your USDL there? So what does it do, and what's my benefit for being one of those stability providers? Okay, well, there's two things going on. So initially, the first thing is we've talked about the loan token, and we said the primary way you get the only way you get the loan token within the protocol is you need to deposit USDL into the stability pool, and for that you get rewarded with the loan token. So you're encouraged to deposit USDL into the system and get given the loan token. Now the way it works is the emission schedule for the loan token looks something like this, where over each year it will decline by 50%. So maximum rewards on the system are from day one, and then every year the amount of rewards coming into the loan staking, the loan stability pool, reduced by 50%. But the run on this, it goes out decades, so there'll always be these rewards getting issued, but it encourages early adopters with much larger rewards. Okay, so you get given the loan token by providing stability into the stability pool, and then if you choose to, you can actually take the loan token. So a user's given loan token, so they've provided funds into the stability pool, they're sitting out here, they're happy, they're getting given their loan token. They can then put that loan token into the staking pool and get a share of all the system's fees. If you don't understand that, go and watch the previous videos, because we talked about loan staking. So that's basically one of the main rewards why you would provide funds into the stability pool. But the stability pool does more than that. Okay, so if there's ever an instance where a vault becomes risky, so we mentioned that the minimum collateral ratio was 110%. So let's say someone's been a bit reckless and they've only deposited the minimum 110%. So they've extracted the value. So we'll work with our minimum numbers again. So we said someone could put in $2,200 and withdraw out $2,000 in loan value in USDL. Okay, so they've already extracted that value from the system, and there's a surplus of that 10% extra collateral to stabilize the system. Now, someone the price of Pulse dips and someone has left this in a risky state, and as soon as it gets to as soon as it gets to less than 110%, it's deemed risky and the system has to act on it. How does it do that? Well, anyone that's interacting with the protocol that sees a vault that is risky can activate the liquidate vault feature. And it's important that you have anyone be able to do that, because it means the system reacts very quickly to keep its solvency. So it's totally decentralized. Anyone can do that. So as soon as someone does that, it triggers something. So they've pushed a button, and you go, well, why would someone be monitoring it? Why would they force the liquidation on a risky vault? Well, two things. First of all, the person that activates that liquidation gets, I think it's 0.5% of the vault's value as a fee. Okay, as a liquidation fee. So you're protecting the system, you're monitoring it, you see a risky vault and you go bang, push the button to liquidate it. And they also get a $200 USDL fee as well, which is used when the loan is set up. So if you go back to the loan video, we said there was a $200 fee to set up the loan, that if you pay the loan back, you get the $200 back. But if you don't pay it back and you let your vault drop to a risky level and it has to be liquidated, you've gone away and you've forgotten about it, you don't care, your intention was to never pay it back, then you've got to reward someone, because they've got to pay the gas costs to activate the liquidation feature. So that's more or less a gas offset. Seems high at the moment. It's primarily because this system was developed on ETH, where the fees are higher, but who knows, in the future Pulse fees may get up there as well if the system gets really congested. So you need to have that built in there. So that liquidator gets the 0.5% fee plus the $200 gas fee, essentially the gas offset fee. Okay, well that's great. How do you cancel out the debt? Because we always have to cancel out the debt on a vault. It can't be left there. So someone's pushed the button to liquidate it, but they haven't sent any funds in. They've just activated the feature. Okay, well let's have a look how we take care of risky vaults in the system. So the USDL comes from the stability pool to come and pay out the debt in that vault. Okay, so the debt was paid out, had to be cleared by the stability pool. In this instance, because it's been liquidated, all of that Pulse then gets transferred over to the stability pool minus this fee here. So everything minus the 0.5% fee, which goes to the guy that actually pushed the button on the liquidation. So the remaining 9.5% goes into the stability pool and is split up between all the participants of the stability pool. So that Pulse gets divided up. It's more or less like think of it like a T-share. So if you own a certain percentage of the pool, that's the amount you would get proportional of the incoming Pulse. Now, what the beauty is here, so we said, why would you be in the stability pool? Well, you get Pulse at a discount. So really, you're sending your USDL over to here and you're getting, really should be around about 8% plus gain on the Pulse that comes back into this system, okay? Because the collateral was higher, that 110%, for this very reason. It pays the fee for the liquidation and it actually redistributes that Pulse back to the people that are providing the stability within the system. This is a good thing. So it's taking care of risky vaults, which if you've got a vault, you should never let it get risky anyway. So it's taking care of the risky vault. Second thing, distributed that Pulse back to people in the stability pool. Third thing, hasn't had to sell it on the market. So it doesn't create that thing where you get cascading liquidations because there's a big heap of Pulse getting sold on the market. So it's a really clever design. So what it means is if you're in the stability pool, so if you've deposited funds in the stability pool, you are long Pulse. Because over time, if there's liquidations, your USDL you've deposited in there is going to get dragged out to take care of any risky vaults, and it's going to get replaced with pulse. So you're essentially long pulse. You're going to get given more pulse over time. Now, there's two things I'm not going to cover that in this video. We'll go into more depth on collateral ratios of the whole system, because that's important to understand. But just understand, like, if you're using this system and you're depositing funds at this level, you're creating a risky vault to begin with. And I'm going to keep hammering this home. A healthy vault would probably have something like, let's go with the upper figure, around 250% is good. Okay, that puts you in a really safe position so that if there's any fluctuations in the price of pulse, you're not up for a liquidation because you haven't been paying attention. Now, you can set this figure whatever you like. There's one strategy kicking around where you'll keep your ratio at 1,000%. Okay, that means you can withstand a 90% dip in the price of pulse before your vault's in any danger of becoming risky. How often do we see 90% dips in the crypto market, and how long does it take for them to do that? It's not an instant thing that happens. It happens over months. So you've got weeks or months. So you've got time to actually react and adjust your vault so it never gets down to that risky stage. But you don't have to stop at 1,000. Let's just say the price of pulse just skyrockets and you've got a swag of it that you're holding. Now you can afford to have something like this, a 5,000% collateral ratio. So you can withstand pretty much any dip that a crypto market will throw at you without the risk of losing your pulse. Okay, but it's important to understand how the stability pool works, why it's there, why you would want to be in the stability pool. Two reasons being your long pulse and you get the loan token, and then you can go do the staking with the loan token if you like. Okay, we've kept this one to 12 minutes. That's good. I think we've covered the stability pool pretty well, and hopefully you're now starting to get an appreciation of how all the little components of the system tying together to get the right incentives aligned, to keep the peg at $1, to keep the system solvent, to encourage people with the right behavior to come and participate in a stability pool, to encourage people to be owners of the system by the loan staking and the fee revenue that can be generated. It really is a beautiful protocol. I'll keep saying this, totally decentralized. Once it's launched, the community are the owners and the operators of the protocol. It's a really beautiful thing. Okay, I'm going to call it quits there for now for this episode. Stick with me, we've got plenty more to come. I think we've nearly covered most of the basics of the system. Do want to touch on some of the collateral ratio side of things on the next video, but after that we'll probably move on to a lot more interesting topics where you can see what is actually going on behind the scenes. I'll catch you all in the next episode. Bye for now.